What's going on, guys? Back day. I'm excited. You better be excited because I'm excited. Starting with shrugs. Normally don't start off my exercise with shrugs, but today felt like switching it up. Usually, actually, that's kind of incorrect. I either end with it or I start off with it. One of the two. Just because I want to get as much of a pump as I can before I leave the gym in my shrugs, or I like to start off when I'm as fresh as I can with my shrugs. It's usually one of those two. Very, very rarely will I throw them in the middle, but you never know. Things could happen. But for today, not going too heavy with shrugs. I've said in the past, I don't go too heavy with shrugs. There's no need, at least for me. I mean, if some people just need to load up as much weight as they possibly can on a barbell and throw it around, good for them. I don't feel I get as good of a pump when I do that. Can I? Sure. I'm 260 pounds, so if I couldn't, then there's a problem. But I like to keep it in the 50 to 90 range. I usually don't go above 90. I I might have, no, I didn't go to 100 this time. I don't even know what I went to, but I think I did like, no, maybe I did do the hundreds, whatever. But yeah, I don't feel the need to go any heavier than that. When I was younger, when I was 18, I'd grab the 150s and I'd think I was getting a good shrug workout, which I wasn't, but I did it anyway. And who knows, maybe I'll do it next time just to show you that I still got it. But I know I'm not going to get as good of a workout as if I didn't do it. But yeah, it looks like I grabbed the 100, so nothing too heavy. I'm sure most of you can at least grab that up, but if you're struggling growing your traps, or you just don't feel like you're getting as good of a workout, increase the weight. Or you know what? Decrease the weight because you might be going too heavy. It's probably one of the two, or maybe just not getting enough of a contraction at the top, or maybe you're standing forward, you're standing straight up and down too much, and you're just lifting your shoulders to your ears, which I've done that in the past, and I find that it works better to not do that because it's more of a back workout. But I've said it 1,000 times because I've done traps 1,000 times recently, and that's just what it is. So with this, after shrugs, went over to bent over single arm rows. And once again, with this, you can go really heavy. I know a lot of people that are grabbing big weight that probably shouldn't, but if they can get a good workout, great. More power to them. Me, I found it's better to not throw around the 150. Same thing. I like to go a bit heavier on these, but nothing crazy. Started off with the 90s, grabbed the hundreds, and I've said before in the past that we don't have 110s at this gym or 105s, so it goes up to 115 instantly, but the 115s are actually right next to my foot. You can tell because it has five plates, 5 10-pounders on each side, and then a five, but the one that's actually on the rack are the 120s, which not much of a difference. To jump up 20 pounds, it's really not that big of a difference unless you're really maxing out, which I'm not. Just trying to get a good pump, and that's pretty much what you're seeing here. With the single arm rows, occasionally I'll go even lighter, like much lighter. Like I'm saying, like 50 pounds, 60 pounds, 70 pounds maybe. And I do double single arms, which kind of doesn't make any sense, but you grab dumbbell with each hand, you bend over, and you do a slower, more of a deep contraction with that, and that works very well as well. If you've never done the dumbbells, two in each hand, one in each hand at the same time, go for it, give it a try. But one of those things where if you go too heavy, you're just swinging your body and you're just not getting a good workout. That's another big reason why I put my hand on the on the dumbbell rack, just because it raises my body up a little bit higher, but I'm still stable. I still have my hand helping me stay that much more stable. So that's what I do. I've been doing that for years. Some people bend over completely onto the bench. I feel if you're a little bit shorter, you could probably get away with it. But for taller guys, which I'm not that tall, I'm 5'11", 6 foot on a really, 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 really good day. But after the single arms, made my way over to pull downs. And I haven't showed you this machine yet. And it's a good overall machine. You're able to get a good pump, but it's just you can't switch the attachments. So which is probably more beneficial, is your arms pulling the weight down determines where your hands end up being at the end of the movement. Whereas if you have an attachment which is fixed, your hands stay there, but you're targeting like a kind of a different area with it. So just something that I found that this does work very well if you're trying to just get your elbows right down by your sides. Same thing with your hands. If you don't worry about a close grip or a wide grip, if you just want like a neutral grip, this one's great. So don't really go too heavy on this one. Slightly more than 3 plates. I threw a 25 on, another 25 over it because I'm not going to take the 25 off that I have on just to throw on a 45, and then it ends up being less weight anyway. So I just never. I used to do that when I was younger because I'd like seeing 3 plates on a bar or 4 plates on a bar. I'm way past that stage. It's a lot easier to just throw 125 on 2 different times. So after that, another machine I have not showed you, basically the same thing. It's just seated cables. Obviously, not the same. Not working the same muscle. Working the lats, making them wider, or this one is working your lats, making them wider. Oh, sorry, making them thicker. But with this, it's a little bit more difficult to actually target your upper chest, your upper back. So this is great for thickening your lats. I don't do it too often just because I don't feel the need. I'm not into the bodybuilding as much, so I want to look good, but I feel it's a little bit better to sit on the cable row and actually get an attachment where I can actually hold my hands up a little bit higher so it's working in the middle of my back, like my traps. But doing 3 sets here, once again, I have three 45s on each side and then 2 25s. I'm not going to take off the 25 just to throw on another 45. It just doesn't make that much sense being 37 years old and caring about what the weight is. But if you care, go for it. I get it. I was that age too. But with this, nothing too special. I do like the idea of having a machine just to switch it up, just so I'm not constantly doing the cable seated rows or even the hammer strength or the body masters that we have here. Yeah, I mean, nothing too special. You do get some trap activation, but when you're holding it low, it's really working the thickness of your lats, which is definitely something that, I mean, everybody can use a little bit of adjusting. So I liked it, but probably won't be doing it too often. Then after that, pullovers with a cable with my favorite attachment. It's molded to your hands perfectly, so I don't feel it can give me much more weight, if any, but it just feels better in your hands. So that's why I'm doing this one. I I have in years past done a nice wide bar, like a lat pull down bar, and I kept my arms very wide. I don't feel like I was benefiting from it as much as I do when I have my hands go by my sides. I feel I can get a much better pump in my lats when I do it this way. And if you don't have this attachment, you can always use a rope. You can even, I showed you a couple weeks ago, you can even do single arms where you just hold the yellow ball and you just bring your arm essentially straight down by your side the way it is right now, just not doing 2 arms at once, doing single arms. And I believe this is the last set. So didn't do a crazy workout. I've been finding recently that I don't have to do as many sets. If I can keep the intensity high with it, I feel I can get away with maybe 10 to 12 sets depending on the body part. 10 to 12 sets, maybe even occasionally 9, maybe even bump it up to 15, 16 on a good day for individual muscles, of course. Talk to you soon, you know that.